Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. How's it going? Hope you're all having a good day. And today I plan on freeing you from Chrome browser. Hopefully, that's something you're interested in. If so, keep on watching. As many of my regular viewers are aware, YouTube and Google have generally made it clear that they're going to make my life as a user as difficult as possible. They're gonna censor me, they're gonna track me, they're gonna sell my info to advertisers. So for a little while now, I have been trying to de-Google my life, which is a little bit of a challenge when you have, a Gmail email address and you use Chrome and you have a big YouTube account and so forth. But slowly but surely, I am doing it. My very first step was to switch away from my Gmail, and I ended up switching to something called Proton Mail. That's an end-to-end encrypted email that's free and private, and I've been very happy with it. No complaints on Proton Mail. But switching over to a browser has proven to be a little bit more of a challenge, though I finally did it. So let me tell you guys my process as far as switching browsers, what I had to go through, and what I like about my new choice. So the first thing I tried out was a browser called Opera, and I'd heard of this one before. There's a fellow who created a browser called Vivaldi. Vivaldi. There it is, Vivaldi web browser. So before the fellow who created Vivaldi made Vivaldi, he created Opera before selling it. And Opera is a fast, interesting browser that's got some good features to it. You download it, it's available for any operating system, and really the only thing weird about it is that it has this little sidebar along the left when you use it that has a lot of integration with various social media websites. You can turn that sidebar off, and then what you're left with is a simple browser that's pretty fast, that has its own built-in ad blocker, that claims to have its own free VPN, though I don't know how effective that free VPN actually is. I've heard that it's not very good from some other folks who reviewed Opera. But in any case, it was a pretty serviceable browser, so I thought to myself, okay, maybe this is going to be the browser for me. But then I started digging into Opera and looking at the details of it a little bit, and I noticed that number one, they're still tracking me, they're still selling my data. Number two, their ad blocker doesn't work on their particular ads. It only blocks everybody else's ads. And the company also seemed to have an awful lot of backing out of China, and they engaged in a lot of short-term loan practices. So basically, they would advertise loans to you, and if you take out loans, they make money. So just a little bit of stuff that I didn't like about Opera. But still, I wanted a browser that kind of had all the functionality of Chrome. So I set out looking again, and that is how I stumbled upon Brave. This is Brave browser right here. And as you guys can see, it is amazingly similar to Chrome. In fact, let's just go back and forth between Chrome and Brave. So this is Chrome, and that's Brave. Chrome, Brave. Virtually no differences at the top, and the reason there's no differences is because Brave is actually built using the Chromium platform. So it was designed using a Google tool, but it's not Google run, which is a really good thing, and it also explains why when I installed Brave, it very quickly and seamlessly ported over all of my bookmarks. It automatically installed all the extensions that I had on Chrome without me even asking. So my ad block and my honey and other extensions like that immediately got reinstalled. I thought that was really cool. And then I set about trying to figure out how Brave works. And this is where I was really impressed, because this is a unique browser with a really unique business model. See, the problem with most browsers is fundamentally they're all the same. They track you very heavily and they sell your data to make money. Brave is kind of the opposite of that. They have their own business model. So the only two differences with Brave and Chrome are these two symbols right up here. One is called Brave Shields, and one is called Brave Rewards. And both of them you can either use or not use or turn off. So the first one is Brave Shields, and this is a function that turns off all of those little behind-the-scenes trackers that are keeping an eye on you. So on this page right here, it is blocking 6 different trackers. And if something ever works weird or isn't working right, maybe some kind of location function is giving you problems, you can just turn this feature off. No big deal. And that's the nice thing about Brave, is it really lets you turn off whatever you don't like. So yeah, nifty function, but where I was really impressed was in Brave Rewards. And that's this little triangle up here. So the way that Brave makes money is that when you open up a new tab, instead of a blank tab like you see in most browsers, what you get is this background image. And it's usually some kind of non-invasive, relatively good-looking background image. But if you look carefully at the bottom left corner of it, you realize that this is actually an advertisement. And by the way, you have the ability to turn this entire function off and have this be just a blank tab, just like in Chrome. So you don't have to use any of this. But if you are using it, here's what's happening. Brave actually makes money off of this advertiser for you viewing this ad. But not only does Brave make money, but they actually have a revenue share program with you where you also make a little bit of money for viewing this ad. And you get paid out in basic attention tokens, which is a not very major cryptocurrency. It's like the 30th largest crypto overall. So you can see up here at the top right corner, there's how much Brave rewards I've earned thus far by surfing Brave. And it's not big money, it's just, you know, a few cents, so it's not very significant. But if this is what the browser has to do in order to not do any tracking, plus it's doing a little bit of revenue share with me, I'm glad to keep this feature on. But then they actually turned this up a notch. They ended up doing something even more interesting with this cryptocurrency. So if you click on this triangle right here, you get to control what you do with this little bit of money that you're earning. Now, you can also add more money and buy more basic attention tokens if you like, but this is the screen from which you can actually use your basic attention tokens. You can send them to a different wallet that you have, you can convert them into a different cryptocurrency, whatever you want to do. But then they also built in like a weird Patreon crypto function. If you're surfing on a Brave and you go to a creator's page where they have registered themselves with Brave, you will see a little check mark all over your Brave rewards, and it'll give you the ability to actually use your basic attention tokens to reward directly the creator whose content you're surfing on the internet. You can do it as a one-off or as a monthly, so a lot like with Patreon, and I thought that that was just a very smart, simple feature that they built in. And again, all of this can be customized a great deal. You can choose what you do with any of this. You can turn it off entirely. That's what I like about Brave, is they don't make you do anything. So yeah, that is my latest step in kicking the Chrome habit, and I will link to Brave down in the video description. They do have a referral program, so if you download Brave through my link in the description, as opposed to just downloading it by searching it on Google, then I actually get something out of it if you're still using Brave 30 days from now. They give me a little bit of those basic attention tokens. So there you go, guys. I hope this was useful. Please subscribe and hit that like button if it was. As I discover more software that gets me off of Google more, I'll make sure to let you know. On that note, have a good one.